So, I just found a song that I produced with over 1.7 million streams. Yeah. So you might be wondering, Loki, what do you mean by found? Well, they done stole my shit.
Oh my god.
So after a year of this song being out, I found it with a placement tracker called Artist Connect. This is a tool that allows you to track all of your files in one place. Psst, link in bio for a sign up link. But back to what I was saying.
Okay.
After weeks of negotiating with this label, I can finally make this video and break down the sample behind Faithfully by RealBleeda.
Yeah, all night I'm scheming, fuck what they believe in. Keep a glizzy with me, I'm talking faithfully.
And like I said, this song has been racking some views and streams. Like bro, 1.1 million views on that bit. But let's get right into the breakdown. So here's a sample. It's a typical Baton Rouge sound that RealBleeda usually hops on. So I'm gonna start showing the main piano. It's just a regular piano like this from Labs. Very repetitive, very like Baton Rouge. Simple. Then I also added this addictive keys on top just to add more flavor to the melody. And then as you can see here at the end, I just add like kind of like transition notes down to the original. So it goes back down to the D sharp. So I wanted to like kind of smoothly do that. So I added these, add this kind of downfall effect on the keys, on the top notes. And I also added some, the typical wah-wahs, the typical, you know, young boy, Baton Rouge soundy stuff. You can hear it like this. I'm just solo him out. I just stacked this shit. So it's like, it's just a bunch of them. Yeah, so they just go on loop, and here's with some context with the piano. Guess what? I added more of those, a lot more of those, context. And I've really noticed the key with Baton Rouge melodies is just add like a bunch of texture, a bunch of typical wah-wah shit. Then the loop starts to identify as a Baton Rouge loop instantly. Yeah, I added a lot of these, as you can hear, but onto the bass. So for the bass, I added an acoustic bass from Moto Bass. And just follow the root notes, obviously. Here at the end, I like to spice it up on the 8th bar. Make it stand out, make it sound like not too repetitive. So usually for 8 bars, I do like crazy shit. Sometimes it's borderline overproducing, but shit, I stuck with it and it worked for this loop. So you can hear with context. Sounds hard as fuck. Next up, I added these stabs, I added a piano, added some vocal runs, just to add more to this loop. You can hear here with context, with everything else playing, you can hear it like this. Yeah, that vocal runs is crazy. You can hear the loop is actually starting to like come together now. It's starting to build up to something bigger. High key, because it's an older loop, I would have like stopped here normally, because this is borderline too much already for a loop, you know. But a tip for y'all producers out there, always add the stems right here. So just stem it out, 8 bars, so that if the producer thinks it's too much shit in the loop, they can just, you know, stem it out. So let's say like they fuck with the idea but not all the shit that's in the loop, they can just stem it out, grab the stems they fuck with, and then they can just arrange it, change it around like that. So I highly recommend for loop makers, if you want to start making loops, always emphasize this, always stem out your shit in the back, because that also makes it easier, so they don't have to ask you for the stems and shit. You can just send it in the original file and they can just do whatever they want with it. Tip for you producers out there, the loop makers. To top this off, I added some arcade. Solo these out because I don't really know what these are, to be honest, but okay, so I added like organ runs with arcade, and then here right, okay, yeah, I added some brass with arcade. Bro, arcade has some fire shit, so I added some brass with the organ runs. And actually, I think these are what kind of makes the loop stand out, because if you hear it with the context, right, this what really makes it like stand out and shit. So yeah, the brass really makes it bouncy as shit. So I added this here. And then lastly, right, I added some vinyl warm. Back in the day, I used to add this to every loop. I don't even know why. Then I also added these chimes. which I guess it worked, I guess, but you can already hear this loop is really packed. Normally, like, this is way too much for a loop. For this loop, for Baton Rouge, usually a little chaos is good. Not saying that it always is, but for this one it worked out perfectly. So lastly, for this I added some automations for the halftime, for the brass I think, and then also for like the arcade stuff, so the brass and the organs. Then I added a Baton Rouge crash, you can hear it. And then also lastly I added my signature thing, which is I reverse the root note of the piano, so it transitions back into it really nicely. So guys, here's the final loop. Let me know if you fuck with it down in the comments. Let me know if you want more of this shit. So here we go. This shit go crazy though. So guys, that's how I made the sample for Faithfully by RealBleeda. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna make a bunch more content here on YouTube, finally starting my YouTube grind. So I appreciate if you subscribe, leave a comment, like, you know, fuck with the algorithm a little bit in the beginning. See y'all next video. Peace.